from the local station. The morning show starts now.
Crime and security experts believe that COVID-19 may lead to a massive spike in crime as restrictions ease across the country, which means it's important that we prepare now. Joining us this morning with steps property owners need to take is negligent security attorney Todd Michaels. Good morning.
Good morning, Lena. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Thank you for joining us. Well, whether in or out of a pandemic, what is the legal responsibility of a business, apartment complex, or HOA to provide security?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, business owners and property owners need to be aware that police and law enforcement are not responsible for protecting private property or private businesses. The law, both during the pandemic and otherwise, states that the business owner or the property owner has a duty to provide a safe premises to their customers, tenants, employees. In terms of crime and security, what that means is that they need to employ reasonable security based on their risks. Now, while that law hasn't changed in or out of the pandemic, the risks certainly have, and business owners need to assess their risks and act commensurate with those risks.
And, you have three areas you say business owners must consider as to why crime may increase because of COVID-19. And the first is mental health. Explain that.
Well, people are, as we all know, on edge these days. Even with the good job numbers, unemployment is high. A lot of people have recently lost their jobs. People have fear of the virus. People have also been cooped up in their homes for the last 3 months and are now starting to come out and venture back into the world. On top of that, we have the tragedy that happened in Minnesota, the murder of George Floyd, and everything that's happened since then. These are certainly strange times, and stress is at an all-time high. And what that means is that there's the likelihood that what might normally be a small incident or a small disagreement can spiral quickly into something much more serious. And business owners have to recognize that, and they have to remember that we are not in our normal times. Things are different.
And, next you point to the number of guns sold as the pandemic started. How does that affect this?
Well, gun sales are at an all-time high. Throughout the course of the pandemic, there was a 270% increase in gun sales. This is not a Second Amendment issue. People on all sides of that debate can agree that more guns leads to more potential for violence. So now you always have the risk of guns getting into the wrong hands. You also have inexperienced gun users, people that don't normally carry firearms carrying, and you tie all that back into all the stressors that people are under. If things are more likely to explode or spiral out of control, you throw firearms into the mix, it opens up another range of potential problems.
And, what about these new risks with masks, social distancing, and the emotion around several new rules?
Well, sure. Normally a business owner would be concerned about something like robbery. Do I have lighting? Do I have security personnel in my parking lot to keep customers safe when they're coming in? Those risks are still there, but like everything else, everything going on with the pandemic and whatnot has become political and has become divisive. And we're all kind of living in a tinderbox right now. So you look at the mask issue. We've all read the stories about employees of stores getting shot or getting attacked for telling people to put on a mask. You have other people who are wearing masks who are going to get angry at people who aren't wearing masks, get angry at someone if they're standing in line at a Walgreens or a CVS to fill a prescription and the person behind them is too close. Then you've got a whole nother realm of problems where in the normal world, if somebody comes into your establishment wearing masks or wearing gloves, that's going to be a big cue that something's about to happen. Now that's just normal, and business owners need to figure out their way through this.
Well, thank you so much, Todd, for joining us this morning and giving us some very essential information on how to combat crimes, especially during these times. We appreciate you. Vic, I'll go ahead and send it over to you.
Yeah, very important. My friend had his business broken into this morning.